program that Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, according to my own understanding, is not a religious text. My understanding conveys me that Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is a manual, it's a technology that can enable a human scale from a limited self to a vast expansiveness. Be it professional expertise, professional excellence, personal life, or whatever. The aspect could be any. But one thing is for sure, that Gita, according to my own understanding, is a technology of enablement. Technology that has traversed through the timeless era during when we don't know. But certainly it is meant for the timeless Arjuna. Arjuna, the character that personifies any conflict-ridden, dichotomy-ridden, confused, but an individual with a lot of potential and ambition. So Gita should be taken as the technology to enable us charter into the skies of our deepest aspirations, and not as a religious text. That's my understanding. Let's make a beginning by the epitome of the vibratory punctuation done by our masters, called as Gayatri Mahamantra. With your back straight, left hand beneath the right, contemplative mood, Gayatri Mahamantra. Om Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Today, in the live classroom, we embark upon the verse number 12 of chapter number 5, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. As the Sanskrit says, Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtakim ayuktah kam karena phale saktah nibadhyate. It says that one who is steadfast shall acquire peace, provided if he excels with a selfless intent. Otherwise, he shall accrue to bondage, the karmic bondage, that shall not lead to evolution. Before we go on to analyze the entire verse, today I must focus upon two prominent words first. The subject, the title of today's program is Magnetic Persona. Although persona means the externality of a human behavior, the appropriate word is magnetic individuality, the deepest core of a human. But I have chosen the persona as a word because it is easy and convenient for any common understanding to connect and relate with the subject. Who on the planet would not like to bear the magnetic individuality or magnetic persona? People want that others should be attracted towards them. Like-minded thoughts, like-minded people, like-minded situations, like-minded, I am saying like-minded, minded I am using specifically, like-minded resources should be drawn to them. We all want to have a magnetism inside. And in the case that we can create a magnetic field, magnetic aura, we try to project ourselves through externalities. Through externalities, we make certain cosmetic changes on our face, certain changes in our dress code, so that we can add a glitter that could create a magnetic aura in our entire individuality. Although it helps, but has a limitation. The true magnetic auric value in a human being, the true magnetic pull in a human being, actually comes from somewhere else. It lies somewhere else, embedded somewhere else. That must be understood. In Sanskrit, two words have been mentioned here which I'm going to take as the prominent ones. The first is the Naishthik. Naishthik, if you spell it in English, Naishthik, Naishthik. Because those of you who are not well versed with Hindi or Sanskrit, I just made a punctuation of it in English, the letters. This word is a very esoteric word. It acquires a very deep meaning. This word has been ascribed to an individuality that absolutely aligns its deepest intentions, its thoughts, its imagination, that means its entire contemplation, its all expressiveness, that is communication, its decisions, finally all acts. When they are aligned in absolute sense, that individual is called as a Naishthik. At times, we observe within our own self and with others as well. They desire something else, they think something else, they express something else, and finally, they do something else. They act in some other manner. There is so much of incoherence in their intention, thought, expression, imagination, and decisions. And that incoherence does not allow them to acquire the status of being called as a Naishthik or Nishthavan. Nishthavan means one who is born, B-O-R-N-E, born with Nishtha. So it should be rightly understood once again what is a Naishthik. Who is a Naishthik? Who is born with Nishtha? The one whose deepest intention, whose thoughts, imagination, all contemplation, all kind of expressions, that is communication, and decisions are absolutely in line. Nothing is going outward. That gentleman or gentle lady shall be called as Nishthavan. In no way I am saying that the only those that ascribe to nobleness shall be termed as Nishthavan. People with ignoble thoughts could also be Nishthavan. It might appear slightly strange to you. I'll explain you. Nishtha is a status. It's a status that acquires a power, a special power, by aligning within self. And powers or forces, they do not have objectives and they do not have faces. Those that bear forces or powers have objectives and faces. For example, electricity has no face, has no objective. It's upon you and me, we that deploy it. In what kind of a cherish of an objective do we apply that electricity? The same goes for the nuclear power. Nuclear power in itself has no face and has no objective. The one who shall deploy this nuclear power is going to have some objective, whether noble or ignoble. Likewise, Nishtha within itself is a power. Because when you align your deepest intention with thoughts and contemplation, imagination, all expressiveness and decisions, you automatically become a source to create a particular kind of a power. So Nishthavan could be with noble ends, could be with ignoble ends as well. Now comes the second word. I've clarified the first aspect. Now comes the second word, which is Shanti. Shanti word, lot many people even in the Western world have now become familiar with the word Shanti. Generally understood as being calm, to establish calm, peace, harmony, stillness. All these words, they ascribe to the meaning of Shanti. But there is a different understanding that I have derived out of my own studies. That Shanti is not that belittled which can merely be assigned a meaning of stillness, peace, or calm. It's much more than that. What makes me understand that? We have a special mantra in our Vedic text that we call as Shanti Path. Although there are several kinds of Shanti mantra, but Shanti Path which generally we use during our rituals, goes like something like this. Om Dyau Shanti Antariksha Gwang Shanti Prathavi, and so on. It goes. For all those who do not understand Sanskrit or Hindi, let me make it clear. In this particular mantra, the Shanti part, we are observing an invocation of establishing a status or a state of Shanti in what? In heavens, in vegetation, in directions, of course within our own self, and within the Creator, within the deities, the gods, and within all medicinal properties. And the foremost is, we are also invoking the state of Shanti within Shanti. Appears to be slightly confusing for the first timers. What is all this going about? No, it's very simple to understand. You'll comprehend it within some time. The state of Shanti, which I'll explain after this, has been invoked in this particular mantra to all those, including the creator of this cosmic conspiracy, whosoever it may be, faceless or with face, doesn't matter. The cosmic creator has been, in this particular mantra, invoked to have Shanti. And Shanti as a concept itself, or the state itself, has been asked to invoke Shanti within itself. Then what is this Shanti? It cannot be mere calm, stillness, or harmony of that kind. There's something else which we must understand. According to my deep understanding which I have developed, Shanti is a state. It is a situation. I can call it situation or state. I must use several synonyms to understand a state which is certainly not easy for my own limited understanding to comprehend. So therefore, so many synonyms have to be deployed to approximate the exactness of that particular state. Shanti to me is a situation, is a circumstance, is a process, is a procedure, wherein all that has been designed to perform in a particular way starts happening. It's called Shanti. Had it not been this understanding, there was no need to make an invocation for the Creator to have Shanti, for the Shanti to deploy Shanti within itself. We could very well say Shanti to humans, that is understood. Shanti to humans, it's understood. Humans should be in harmony, in calm, in stillness. But when it talks about vegetation, talks about directions, talks about the gods, talks about heavens, talks about the Creator, talks about Shanti in Shanti, then it has to be understood at a larger fulcrum. And it automatically precipitates to that level where Shanti is a situation, Shanti is a circumstance, Shanti is a state, where all that is designed to happen in a particular way starts happening. An environment is the best mode to understand about Shanti. When there is a lot of vegetation, they automatically draw the clouds to themselves, and there is an outpour. We experience rains. Depleting the vegetation on ground certainly makes the rains to disappear. And now the ecologist and the environmentalist have very rightly understood that in order to force the clouds to come and burst, the vegetation beneath is mandatory. Vegetation beneath acquires Shanti, it becomes Naishthik, it draws the clouds to itself. So that is Shanti, because that is the order which must be established in order to have ecology function the way, environment function in the way it has been programmed for. Ecologists and environmentalists today endorse that in case if one species becomes extinct, it creates a disruptiveness, a distortion into the harmony of the entire ecology. They say that if tomorrow the lion becomes extinct, that might impact the human life adversely, because everything is connected, everything is entangled. We all are somewhere embedded with each other. Our existence is embedded. For everybody to remain, everybody to live, everybody to sustain is Shanti. The design, the original order of the Creator to see that this entire creation prospers with the harmony. So that is Shanti. Had it not been that broad, had it not been that esoteric, there was no need for an invocation for restoration of Shanti even to the Creator. Brahma Shanti, Shanti Reva Shanti, which means Shanti to Shanti. So Shanti is a very deep word which acquires the meaning of restoration of the original order according to the design of the Creator. And according to the shlok, we have picked up two words. In no way we have diverted from our core subject, the topic of the day, magnetic persona or magnetic individuality. Who shall acquire the inner magnetism that can draw to itself all that one yearns for or aspires for? And there are two qualifications required for that. Number one is Naishthik. And one who is Naishthik shall automatically acquire peace. And Naishthik, we have rightly understood, all people, all individuals that bear their thoughts, their expression, their speech, their contemplation, imagination, everything in line with their deepest intention are Naishthik. And all that who are Naishthik shall automatically be able to create Shanti around them. Shanti means the order, the design, the happenings that are truly in consonance with their objectives. So that part is very well understood. That magnetic auric value in a human being shall arise when he or she truly aligns within, in consonance with the deepest intention they bear. That must be understood. And the moment they align themselves in absolute sense through all entirety of thought, expression, imagination, all contemplation and decisions, the magnetic outburst happens automatically, and their exuberance comes in form as Shanti, which means they have now set free the order for all things to happen in accordance to their own intention. Having said that, I must come down to the relationship which this particular verse has established. Who should be a Naishthik? Who should be a Naishthik? All people who are with ignoble thoughts, all kind of terrorist people who have ignoble inclinations, ignoble intentions, should they be also considered as Naishthik? Gita says no. The one that is selfless, which means one who tries to perform all activities, who excels upon one's own objectives, who executes one's own propensities, all actions in a selfless mode, should be the one who is Naishthik and shall acquire Shanti. Selfless aspects have to be understood deeply. When we use the word selfless, generally it goes towards philanthropy. Generally it is misconstrued as something where you relinquish yourself from the profits or from the fruits of any activity that you are engaged into. A general understanding is not able to connect to such a notion. No. A selfless does not mean only philanthropy. A selfless act or a selfless being does not mean that you disassociate or you relinquish the profit, the yield of your actions. It means that while you're in the process of acting upon your decisions, while you're executing your operations, while you're in action, at that moment you do not elude the consideration towards the quality of your action, the quality of your service, the quality of your speech, the quality of your thoughts, and you do not elude or evade your commitments. You do not evade the deep satisfaction within yourself. You do not evade the satisfaction that you must give to the others as well. The selfless means that while charting upon your objectives, even of profit making, rather for profit making, objectives, you should be in absolute consideration of these factors that I mentioned rightly just now. Let me repeat them again, that you consider your deepest satisfaction, that you consider the quality of your acts, that you consider the commitments that you owe, and you also consider a deep sense of satisfaction on the face of the others. Technically or professionally speaking, you also seek satisfaction of your customer. Customer, we understand that everybody is a service provider and everybody is a customer in the chain of operations within the organization or without. So according to Gita, the selfless individual, when performs actions that are aligned in absolute sense, shall automatically create a magnetic field where all that must happen to realize and cherish the objectives shall start happening. That is what it says. People who are selfless, in regard to the explanation I've given, the understanding I have bestowed, when they act as a nishthavan, they become a magnetic individuality within themselves. Even if their externality is compromised, even then people get attracted to them. Even if they're not that good looking, because generally what we take as good looking is merely confined to the externality of a human being that limits itself to the physical understanding, the physical comprehension. Even if they're not that good looking, they will be full of, they shall be throbbing of magnetic emanation out of them that shall certainly attract many people to themselves, the ones that they want, many resources to them, the one that they want, many situations to them, the one that they desire. And those who act as in contrarian to this, in contrary to this, whatever has been said, shall accrue to karmic bondage. Karmic bondage, I am not going to embark upon its detailed explanation over here, should be merely understood when you avoid, evade evolution. This life has been bestowed to you for evolution. When you feel that you're not evolving, you may be accumulating to any extent. Evolution is a subject of one's deep understanding. Accumulation is a subject of confinements to physical externality. If you feel that you're not evolving inside at the end of your deep understanding, you're missing the opportunity bestowed to you as this life. So, all those people that get confined to karmic bondage are the ones that cannot evolve. They do not evolve. So, Bhagavad Gita in the verse number 12 of chapter 5 has very rightly embarked to reach out to all of us and said, become a selfless Naishthik, so that you automatically create a magnetic field by the term Shanti, where all that you deeply desire starts happening. And you, when you depart from this planet, this physical dimension, when you depart with absolute deep contentment. This live classroom is broadcast on every second and last Sunday at 9 a.m. in English. Why last Sunday? Because there are several months that have 5 Sundays. So therefore, the second and last Sunday of each month, morning 9 a.m., the live classroom begins upon the scripture, the technology of human enablement to excel the levels of highest excellence. Meet you in the next live classroom. Till then, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.